Hey, this is Rick and welcome back to another follow-up on the worm bin and mealworm farm. This is the mealworm farm. Hopefully you can see in there. They're working pretty good. They actually make what they call frass, which is a good nutrient for plants, as well as the worm castings. You can screen this out also. I also use mealworms to feed my aquarium fish, and they love that. It's a good source of protein. If you want me to follow up on anything on the mealworms, just let me know. Put a comment at the bottom of the comment section, and maybe I'll make a separate video on this. These are real easy to do. Now back to the red wiggler farm. These are all red wiggler. You can see they're starting to compost that mix in there. Now this video is also going to be on what not to do. I actually thought it was a good idea to take leaves that were outside, last fall. And I made up a great big 50-gallon bag of them. And you can see that it's hard for them to break down some of these stems. They're pretty hard, but that's not the problem. What I realized was I started getting a pest infestation into my worm bin. And I was getting a lot of mites and spiders and small black beetle bugs and stuff. And I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. I'm in a basement right now, and basements are pretty well sealed up. I know you can get some critters in there, I'm sure, but not like the amount I was getting. So it finally dawned on me. I brought something from the outside into an inside bin. You can do that if it doesn't bother you, but I didn't really want all those pests in my home or down in my basement. So I've now switched over to primarily the shredded cardboard, shredded paper. Shredded paper heats up a little bit more than the shredded cardboard. We get so many boxes that come in through Amazon and all that stuff. It's just as easy to go ahead and shred that stuff and use it for our worm bedding, and they'll actually feed on it too. So here we go. We have a big bag of it now. I will show you later on in the video how I do that. So this is what I'm now using to shred my cardboard and paper. It's a 15 max crosscut shredder. That means it'll do 15 sheets. This one's pretty heavy duty. It will actually destroy CDs and credit cards. I've had it for a while. It's made by Royal, and that's what I'm using now to make my bedding for the worms. I'm also going to use the sphagnum peat moss, which is right there. I'll show you a picture of it. But this is what I'm going to use now instead of using leaves, which has definitely brought in some outside pests. But back to what went wrong. You can see they're starting to break this down, and it's starting to get really dark. And today's the day we're going to go ahead and put them into a single bucket system. Here's the other bin. And you see some of the leaves are on top of there because I've been converting over. I didn't get rid of them totally, but I have started to get rid of the bugs. I've been putting some fruit on the side there. They feed on it. I pull that fruit out, throw it away. We're good to go. Some people have suggested using tea bags. I put some tea bags in there, and it seems like the infestation has gone down. So we'll go ahead and we'll put these guys side by side here. And let me throw on some gloves, because people are always asking, how many worms are you up to now? I started with that starter culture, and if we pull these back, you can see they're breaking that down. It's starting to turn really dark. It's not to the point where I can start using it as a feed for my plants or anything, but it's close. If I pull this out here, hopefully you can see them squirming around in there. They're happy. There's a great big one right there. And the other bin, I parted these out about a couple of weeks ago, if you saw that last video, and they're all dug down in here too. Now people ask a lot of times, does it smell? No, it doesn't. It has an earthy smell to it. As long as you've got your mixes right, the amount of food you're putting in, the amount of water you're putting in, just to keep it moist. You don't want it overly saturated. Here's a cucumber I put in here, and they're working on that pretty good. That was a half cucumber, and they've got it down to this, and that's what I was using to remove a lot of my pests. We'll just leave it right in there and let it decompose. So it's moving day. I'm going with the Larry Hall bucket design. Check out Larry's videos on YouTube. Just look up Larry Hall. What he designs is just put a round hole in the top of a nice lid that will have a rubber seal in it. I'm also going to start doing sphagnum peat moss probably, which the worms will like to convert down faster. So we'll go ahead and we'll put these guys in. You don't have to be real delicate. Just go ahead and pour them in. And you can see there wasn't a lot of moisture in there, so this was working good. Once again, it doesn't smell. And we'll put the rest of this one in. Now, hopefully they'll all be nice and happy in there and meet up and have babies. And we'll see them start to break this stuff down into nice garden soil for us and nutrients. If you look in there now, you can see how nice and dark it is. It's starting to break down. Tons of worms. There's a big group of them right there. So there you go. We'll put some more of this on there on top. What that'll do is that will keep any gnats or bugs or anything from going down there and getting in. I could lightly spray a little water on there, but it seems like the soil is moist enough right now. They're going to stay at the lower levels. And then once they start to eat that down a little bit, I'll go ahead and I'll spritz this down with some water. Now with Larry's design, you just put that lid on there and that's it. Make sure it's snapped down and it seals right around the groove there. The worms can't make that turn and try to come out that opening. You got plenty of aeration in there. You get these buckets anywhere, at your big box stores or Walmart, and all you want is just a sealed lid on there so that they can't get out the sides. So that's it. That's my update on the worm bin. If you have any questions, let me know. Once again, please subscribe, share it with your friends, and now you know what not to do for an inside worm bin. Don't bring anything from the outside in. Take care.